Monday, November 6, 2023. You are listening to a speech made at the Bris of Yerucham Shalom. I wanted to thank everyone for coming. It's really such a pleasure to see everyone, including Dovi. One of my Rosh Hashivas had a Masorah from Moshe Shapiro that all of the world events could be found in that week's Parsha, but not only that, but all of the world events could be found in the actual Aliyah of the day. So for example, today, you would be able to find everything that's going on in the world if you know how to do it right. Parshas Chayesara, the second Aliyah. That's what it would be. Now, Rabbi Berger, he actually, every day after davening, he actually would show us. He would do it himself. He would speak about the events in the world and show us how we see it in this week's Parsha. And the truth is, the past several weeks, it's not very difficult at all to do. And it's a tremendous chesed, I think, and from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we have so many parshios and haftorahs which bring us so much words of nechama, of comfort during the time of war that we have right now in Eretz Yisrael. It's so much easier to deal with it than if the parshios would be like in the Tochacha. Baruch Hashem, everything is just so clear. It's so, I will be with you. And it's like a chesed. And these are the kochos hazman that we're living with. The baby's name is Yerucham Shalom. So Yerucham Shalom was born in Parshas Vayera, the second Aliyah. So the second Aliyah starts off, it says, the very first words, Sarah, it says, she denied laughing. It doesn't say anybody even asked her whether she laughed, which is strange. I always thought Abraham asked her, because otherwise the flow doesn't fit. But that's probably what happened, but it just says she didn't laugh. Okay, she says, I didn't laugh, she was scared. And then Abraham says, no, you did laugh. Very, very strange conversation. And then we go on to the next part. Now that conversation is going to be very crucial to understanding the next part. It has to, I think it really has to be, and I'm going to explain a mahalach and why it's crucial, how it's crucial. The rest of the Aliyah speaks about Abraham davening for Sodom. Hashem tells Abraham that he's about to destroy Sodom. Sodom is very evil. Similar to world events, we have a group of people that are very evil, and in the parsha, we have Hashem decides the time is up. He's going to come and destroy Sodom. Abraham davens to Hashem. There could be two reasons why he starts davening to Hashem to save Sodom. The reason most people learn is because he cared about people. There's another reason as well, but let's just leave it at that. He cared about people. And he says, Hashem, if there would be 50 righteous people, and we know the whole thing, then 45, 40, 30, 20, 10. He stops at 10. Now, really, I have an approach which would tell you that really he went all the way down to 1, but the Pashup shot is that he stopped at 10. And then the Aliyah ends. That's the end of the Aliyah. So I was thinking that the kochos of the neshama of our baby boy perhaps could be found in this Aliyah. So we see Yerucham is very easy. The first name Yerucham, that's all of davening is asking Hashem for Rachmanis, and that's what goes on during the entire Aliyah. And Yerucham means may he have Rachamim, May Hashem have rachamim. The fact that the baby's name was going to be named after the war situation in Eretz Yisrael, like a tefillah, asking Hashem to have rachmanis on the Jewish people and to bring shalom, that idea was initiated from my wife. And I thought it was a very chashuv idea. So we went along with that, and we turned down a lot of powerhouse names, which I spoke about at the Shalom Zachar, which those names will be put into the child anyways. That's my belief, because the kochos of the parsha are exist, whether you like it or not, they exist. So we see the aliyah was about Avram asking for rachamim from Hashem, and together with that is shalom. Is Avraham, the whole purpose of rachamim is to create shalom. So we see that in the aliyah. In the very beginning of the aliyah, we also see something which it just says Avraham denied it. She said she did not laugh. And Avraham said, but you did laugh. And so why is that so important? So I heard once, I heard this from a Rebbe of mine in Ner Yisrael. It was back when I was in 11th grade. Rav Kalman Wein Rebbe Zatzal, who was nifter recently, and that was one of the names we were thinking of naming the child. But he said, Karov l'chol korav asher yikru be'emes. Hashem comes close to all that call out to him in truth. And he said that truth over here, what it's telling us is that tzidkus or rishus, righteousness or evil, that's not the name of the game when it comes to having a relationship with Hashem. Rather, it's to know where you stand with Hashem. A person could be a rasha, provided they know they're a rasha, they know they're far away. Let's maybe use a term like far away. Provided they know that, Hashem you can call out to Hashem, and Hashem not only will greet you, according to the psukim in the Gemara, Kodesh Baruch Hu will greet you, will greet the person who's far away before the one who's close. Why? Because that's what we do. Before, if you haven't seen a friend for a very long time, versus a friend you see every day, the one you haven't seen for a long time, you say, oh, shalom aleichem. The friend you see every day, you see him every day. So when this person has been so far away from Hashem, calls out to Hashem, Hashem greets him first, says, shalom aleichem. And the pasuk says, shalom, shalom l'rachok u l'karov. The pasuk says it itself. Hashem says shalom to the one who's far away, and then to the one who's karov. Rachok means far away, then the karov. So Rav Kalman Wein Rebbe explained, why is it we have a Tisha B'Av in between a Shavuos and an Elul? All the Yom Tovim, the physical environment always reflects the spiritual environment. Tisha B'Av belongs like in a snowstorm or an ice storm. It belongs in the middle of the winter. It's a time of destruction. What's it doing in the middle of the summer? That's number one. And why do we have it before Elul? And he explained that because Tisha B'Av is a moed. A moed means a chance to meet. It gives us an opportunity to meet Hashem. How? Because if Tisha B'Av didn't exist, there cannot be ani l'dodi v'dodi li. We cannot have that relationship. Because we would go into Elul thinking we are so close to Hashem. We stayed up all night learning. Shavuos, that was the last yontif. But you know what? We're not. We're not close to Hashem. Because if we were, we would have a Beis HaMikdash. There is no Beis HaMikdash. Tisha B'Av reminds us that we're in Galus, we're far away from Hashem. And with that, as long as we know we're far away, then we have a Chasdei Hashem ki lo samnu ki l'chol rachamav. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we can have a genuine relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What goes on over here, this aliyah is all about tefillah. But the pasuk before tefillah, Abraham says to Sarah, no, but you laughed. Just recognize where you stand. That's it. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? There's different ways to. Some say she should have laughed harder. Actually, some say the way all the Morris teacher and most people learn is that she shouldn't have laughed at all. But they're actually, Abraham fell on his face laughing. His laughing was emunah. Some say her laughing also was emunah, so she should have laughed harder. Others say it was one of ridicule. Okay. But the point is, she knows where she stands. Once she knows what she did, meaning some say she didn't know herself that she left. It says Bikirba, she left inside. Like she didn't, it was like a subconscious laugh. She didn't even know. It's not that she lied when she said, no, she didn't laugh. She didn't realize that she laughed. So Avram told her, I know you don't think you laughed, but you did laugh. Now, we could have a genuine tefillah. We could daven to Hashem, and it's only after then Hashem tells Avraham about Sodom, and Avraham davens for Hashem to save Sodom. So this is the day Yerucham Shalom was born on Monday, the Sheni, during this Aliyah, and there's no question we would love for him to have all of those midos. Rachamim, which is tefillah. Shalom, which is actually a name of Hashem. Shalom is one of the names of Hashem, so much so that you cannot say Shalom in a bathroom. I just saw that in the Gemara Brachos the other day. Before a person could daven, there is an emes. We're not naming the child anything to do with emes, but it has everything to do with emes, because in terms of knowing where the person stands, automatically that's going to be necessary in order to get the rachamim, and that's something that we see in that aliyah. I want to express Hakar Satov and start off with the following idea. There's a Gemara, I think it's in Shabbos, but I shouldn't say because I don't know for sure. But it explains that the whole source for making a siyam by finishing a Masechta. So one of the Mefarshim learns on Abaye that he did it out of Hakar Satov because he wanted to have been able to finish a Masechta without the svivov and without the surroundings. And I've realized, especially recently, living here in Chicago, the amount that my children benefit from the svivov that we are in. And I'm referring to the Weitzner Cheder. I hope it continues. My children they come home with such a zizkeit and just love learning, and they come home, not only do they love it, but they come home with these midrashim that I never heard of before, like Noach's real name was Menachem, the first mem went for Mabel, another mem went for the 40 days. That's all these different midrashim, and they say it with such excitement, and it's really, when it comes to raising the children, so of course, a lot of Hakar Satov to my wife. She's the one in the house, a lot of times putting them to bed and raising them, but the community as well plays a major part, and Kal Chasidim plays a very major part, sometimes directly and sometimes indirectly, because the Rebbeim that are teaching my children are getting their whole Ruchnius, the source of all their chizik, from Kal Chasidim. That's the impression that I have. Also, my family has benefited a lot. So I want to express the Hakar Satov to all the people that have a partnership in raising my children, which is really almost everyone, maybe everyone here. My in-laws, my parents, and everyone here on some level. Even my daughter's friend. My daughter has a chelak in it, no question, and then friends are influenced by each other. Over the years, the Rav has made major differences in my family life, which were for the positive. I'm just going to count to 10 and then I'm going to leave. I just have to think. Toby, do you have anything you want to say? Anybody who wants to know more about the names or the koichos in the name could just ask someone what I said by the Shalom Zachar. And because all the names that we did not name the child, I believe those koichos are in the child as well. The humor, especially born in a parsha where the Gadol Hador, maybe the only parsha we have one child born, the Gadol Hador, Yitzchak Avinu. There's no Rishayim born to my knowledge. His name means humor. Avraham fell over laughing. He introduced humor to the Torah, and we know Azi Moles Chokpino. At the very end, Klal Yisrael is going to laugh as well. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu have Rachmanim and Klal Yisrael, especially during this time, but all times. May He be with us in every single thing that we do, and it's not just Eretz Yisrael, across the whole world, and on all levels. We're really being attacked on all levels. Ruchnius, Gash, everything. And may Mashiach come for real. B'mheira b'yameinu. Amen.
Very good, Sam.
This is something I thought of, but I don't think I'm right. But I was trying to be Melamed Zchus on Noach. Everyone's upset at Noach that he didn't daven for the world. I thought that you can't be upset at him, because if you think Moshe Rabbeinu, right after Klal Yisrael did the Egel Azav, Hashem said to Moshe, leave me alone so that I could destroy Klal Yisrael. After Hashem said that, Moshe started to daven for Klal Yisrael. So if Hashem wouldn't have said that he wanted to daven, he would have been just like Noach. So it seems like, yeah. So there was like a message from Hashem. Hashem wants me to daven for Klal Yisrael. Hashem says if I don't leave him alone, he's not going to destroy Klal Yisrael. And also, why would Hashem tell me this? It must mean he wants me to daven for Klal Yisrael. So we don't necessarily see that Moshe davened for Klal Yisrael because he loved them so much, although it could be true, but we see it because he thought this was the Ratzon Hashem. So when Hashem told Noach that he's going to destroy the world, Noach could think, why is Hashem telling me? He told me why he's telling me, so I can build a teva. But when Hashem told Avraham, one has to think, why in the world is Hashem telling me?
Nobody here wearing a bow tie. You're not wearing a bow tie. You can't say what bow tie.
I just wanted to add to a few points that were not really so clear when I spoke earlier today. So right now this is not in front of an audience, and perhaps there are some things that I missed that I just wanted to add on. Number one is that, so we spoke about in the second Aliyah, Parshas Vayera, it speaks a lot about Rachamim, and we connected the Sarah denying the laugh and Avraham telling her, but you did laugh. We connected that to the emes, that a person needs to know where they stand. Emes in regards to the relationship with Hashem, they need to know what they did before they can cry out to Hashem. Just know that you laughed, and now we can start asking for rachamim to Hashem. Another point that may have been missed is that the point is Abaya would invite everyone from the yeshiva to the siyum. That's what was unique. Meaning there are other Rabbanim that would have a siyum when they finished the Masechta, but to invite everybody in the yeshiva to the siyum, that was something unique that Abaya did, because Abaya felt the Karas HaTov, he felt that everybody really has a chelek in the learning. The connection to that over here was that the bracha that everyone says, that the baby should grow up to great in Torah, Maisim Tovim, and to Chuppah, really, in a certain way, that's a bracha to the whole community, because the community has a chelek, a very strong chelek. The community is the Svivav. The community has that chelek in helping the child grow up. So it's a bracha that the Svivav should remain stark. Our block, the block that we live in, this wasn't expressed, but our Karas HaTov, we're not just expressing a Karas HaTov to the people, but it's really a Karas HaTov to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for putting us in the Svivav and allowing these people that make up the Svivav to allow them to continue to grow in Yiras Shamayim and to continue to bless them in the Ruchnias and keep the people stark. So the Mashpia will continue to be positive, the Hashba will continue to be positive. This is a bracha to Kal Chasidim as well. There's an enormous amount that goes into creating a Svivav. The neighbors play a very important role in being Mashpia, a child. The mother, of course, plays a very important role. The siblings do, the father does. The school, the Rebbeim, as was pointed out, the shul where the Rebbeim daven. The Rav plays a major role. In this case, the Rav has played a major role for numerous reasons. This was the shul that I davened at regularly for many years. And as pointed out, the Rav made positive changes in the life of my family. And indirectly, without a doubt, even directly, even today, the Kal Hasidim, we still benefit because to experience, just to walk into, even just for a few moments on the Simchas Torah, to show a child like this is the ultimate. We might have a different shul right now where it offers a certain opportunity to me that can't be offered by definition. It's not able to be offered to Kal Hasidim. My daughter goes to Kal Hasidim every single Shabbos, and just Kal Hasidim Yirtzeh Hashem will continue to play a role. So that's the Svivov. Another important point that I think was missed is the name Shalom. The Shalom is not the fact that it's Rachamim, the purpose of Rachamim is Shalom. That's not really what I meant to say. That might be true, but Rachamim might create Shalom, and in this case we're asking that Hashem should have Rachamim so that there is Shalom in the Middle East. But the very beginning of the Aliyah is actually a lesson in Shalom. The very beginning we find that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the language of Sarah. Sarah said, my husband is old, and either this is the very first pasuk of the second Aliyah or the very last pasuk of the first Aliyah. And Hashem said, why did Sarah laugh saying that she's old? So Hashem changed the language in order not to make Avram feel bad. And we learned from here that when it comes to Shalom Bayis, not that you're allowed to lie, but you're without a doubt allowed to present the information a little bit differently for the purpose of Shalom. There's no question about it. Not that a person would be allowed to lie, but the information could be presented differently. The information that HaKadosh Baruch Hu presented Avram was 100% accurate, but the actual words used, that, which is really irrelevant. The message is what's relevant. The actual words used was irrelevant, and the words used would have made Avraham feel bad, so those words got changed, but the message is exactly the same. And we learn Shalom from that Aliyah. One other point that I started to say, but I wasn't sure whether I should say it. It's just an idea that I heard when I was in Skokie Yeshiva from a very big Talmud Chacham. So we know Skokie Yeshiva is not a Hasidic place. So when we go for a Psak Halacha, we go to our Rebbeim. We don't go to a Hasidic Rebbe. We're not Hasidic. But it was said that if you want to know a Psak Halacha, you call up the Gedolim. But for a bracha, go to a Hasidic Rebbe, a genuine Hasidic Rebbe. Meaning Hasidim can go to the Hasidic Rebbe for the Psak Halacha as well. But even if you're not Hasidic, so for a Psak, you can go to the Gedolim of the non-Hasidic Gedolim, but for a bracha, still go to the Hasidic Rebbe. So, a big Talmud Chacham in Skokie was trying to figure out why that should be, because that's the Metzias. The question is, meaning it actually works out like that. The brachas of the genuine Hasidic Rebbes do come true. They have a power beyond other brachas. And the question is why. So he theorized that because with the Hasidic Rebbes, their parnasa is dependent on the bracha. So since their parnasa is dependent, HaKadosh Baruch Hu blesses it with Hatzlacha, dependent on the parnasa that they earned by Rosh Hashanah. So, which in many cases is going to mean that the brachas are going to work. Apparently people pay money to receive the bracha. So in that case, it's going to work. So, and last but certainly not least, is to express, this is something I tend to do in private, but the minhag ha'olam is to do it in public. It's just to express a Karas Tov to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I would say a lot more in private. Most of the time, that's how these Seudas start off with. This Seudah also started off with that, or it turned to HaKadosh Baruch Hu very quickly, but it was not in response to the Bris. It was in response to the Karas Tov, that this war is happening during a time when if the war has to happen, so it's a bracha that it's happening at a time when the parshios are so favorable for Klal Yisrael for two reasons. Number one, we could look at the parshios and the Haftorah as a source for chizik, and number two, the koichos hazman might also help increase all of that.